Welcome back to the new unit that we are about to discuss. We have completely done with the gaseous state in the last session, and we are going to get into a new unit called thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is a great aspect which has a great continuity with the gaseous state itself. That is why immediately after discussing the gaseous state, we need to approach the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics, what does it mean and what is the great thing that it deals with it? If you ask me, I will just say thermodynamics can be just said as flow of heat. Thermodynamics, its meaning just I would say it's a flow of heat. Thermodynamics is a single word which has been brought from the two words, namely thermos, which means heat, then dynamics, which means flow. Dynamic is a thing which talks about something is moving, which means heat which has been transferred from one part to the other part. So, these are all the things that thermodynamics is going to deal here, right. So, considering all this, how will we define a thermodynamic? Thermodynamic deals with the interconversion of energy. When it talks about the interconversion of an energy, how one form of an energy is converted into other form. In our daily life, we have come across many things like heat energy is converting into mechanical energy, and heat energy is converting into electrical energy, and electrical energy which results in the chemical energy. So, these are all the various things which talks about the energy, and the great aspect that we have to deal with is how interconversion is taking place there. These are all the things which has been studied in thermodynamics quantitatively. And it also helps us to predict the theories and the reason behind this. So, it helps us to make some useful predictions. So, with the help of the background knowledge of this thermodynamics, I am able to predict what might be happening during the conversion of one form of an energy to the other form, right. This thermodynamics was dealt in a greater aspect during 19th century. What is the need to deal with a greater aspect during the 19th century? If you ask me, during 19th century, there was a greater usage of steam engine. In the steam engine, what is happening there? There, heat energy is being converted into mechanical work. The heat energy is being converted into mechanical work, which means coal will be heated, which helps for the movement of a train. What is happening? What is the great thing that deals with here? If you ask me, here the energy that has been supplied as an heat energy is not completely converted into the mechanical work. நான் எந்த அளவுக்கு ஹீட் எனர்ஜி ஜெனரேட் பண்ணுறனோ அந்த ஹீட் எனர்ஜி அப்படியே மெக்கானிக்கல் ஒர்க்காக என்ன ஆகலை அப்படின்னா கன்வெர்ட் ஆகலை. அப்ப அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ல for this process I will say efficiency is not equal to 100. Efficiency is not equals to 100 here. So why the efficiency is not equal to 100? Even though if the whole process is carried out with a greater cautious manner, there was a great discussion, and thermodynamics helps us to understand what is the reason behind that, so that I am not able to get the 100% efficiency. Yeah, 100% efficiency கிடைக்கல அப்படின்றத மேத்தமெட்டிக்கலா ப்ரூவ் பண்ணது எது அப்படின்னா தெர்மோடைனமிக்ஸ் தான். தெர்மோடைனமிக்ஸ் தான் மேத்தமெட்டிக்கலா என்ன பண்ணுது, ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுது. ஓகே, thermodynamics how it proves mathematically அப்படின்னு என்கிட்ட கேட்டீங்கன்னா, behind the knowledge of the 3 law of thermodynamics. Behind the 3 law of thermodynamics, the first law and the second law, the first and second law has a greater intent to deal with the interconversions of energy. And the third law has an intent to deal with the calculation of entropy and unattainment of 0 Kelvin. Okay, first and second law எதை பற்றி பண்ணுதுன்னா, நிறைய விஷயம் ஸ்டடி பண்ணுது. அந்த ரெண்டு லா மூலியமாக நம்ம என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறோம்னா, ஒரு ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி இன்னொரு ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி கன்வெர்ட் ஆகுது. அப்போது என்ன ப்ராசஸ் மூலிமா எந்த அளவுக்கு எஃபிஷியன்சி இருக்குது, சரி அப்போ ஒரு எனர்ஜி இன்னொரு எனர்ஜியை கன்வெர்ட் ஆகும்போது எனர்ஜி லாஸ் ஆகுது, அந்த எனர்ஜி லாஸ் எப்படி ஆகுது அப்படின்ற மொத்த விஷயமும் the first and second law of thermodynamics நமக்கு கிளியராக சொல்லுது. அப்போ ஸ்டீம் என்ஜினை பற்றியும் அதுதான் சொல்லியிருக்கோம். தேர்ட் லா எடுத்தீங்கன்னா என்ட்ரோபியை கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு யூஸ் ஆகுது. அண்ட் why the 0 Kelvin can never be attained அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயத்தையும் சொல்லுது. இந்த ரெண்டு விஷயம் ஞாபகத்தில் வச்சுக்கணும். ஓகே, why the 0 Kelvin can never be attained, and second thing is the calculation of entropy. Here comes a new term called entropy here. Okay, entropy அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது it is disorderliness. இதை ஈஸியாக அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் எப்படி தெரியுமா பண்ணிக்கலாம்? There is a term called, a familiar term called real gas and ideal gas. In ideal gas, there will be the movement of the gaseous molecule randomly. But in the real gas, due to the low kinetic energy and the greater intermolecular attraction, all the gaseous molecules are occupied in a respected volume. Since here it is an order arrangement, entropy talks about disorderliness. Disorderliness is very less here because it is already arranged in a perfect order. So entropy is less here. Here in the ideal gas, gas is capable of moving anywhere randomly over there. If it is capable of moving anywhere randomly over there, here entropy increases because it is not at all in an order. So entropy just talks about the orderliness and disorderliness of a system. Then next thing, it doesn't deal only with the steam engine aspect alone. It also deals with some macroscopic properties like heat and work. So what is the relation between the heat and work, how the interconversion is taking place between them, all those things it was dealt by thermodynamics with a mathematical aspect also. Mathematical aspect avum adu enna pannirukku deal pannirukku. Okay, in spite of giving its wide knowledge behind the chemistry that is taking place here, it also has certain limitation. சில limitations அதில் இருக்கு. என்ன limitation அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, thermodynamics, okay, thermodynamics, it talks about feasibility of reaction. feasibility அப்படின்றதுக்கு மீனிங் என்னன்னா, ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்குமா நடக்காதா, பாசிபிளா இல்லையா அப்படின்றத பற்றி சொல்றது தான் தெர்மோடைனமிக்ஸ். ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா ஒரு ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்குமா நடக்காதான்றதை தெர்மோடைனமிக் கான்செப்டை வச்சு சொல்லிடலாம். ஸோ இட் டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் த feasibility ஆஃப் ரியாக்ஷன். ஓகே, இஃப் a reaction is taking place there, how fast it is taking place, எவ்வளோ வேகமா நடக்குது அப்படின்றத பற்றி இது எதுவுமே சொல்லலை. ஓகே, it just talks about the feasibility of a reaction. It does not explains the kinetics of the reaction. When I say kinetics, it talks about the rate of a reaction. எவ்வளோ டைம்ல எவ்வளோ ரியாக்ஷன் நடந்திருக்கு அப்படின்றத பற்றி இதை சொல்ல முடியல. ஆனால் ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்குமா நடக்காதான்னு மட்டும் இதால் சொல்ல முடியும். Behind this thermodynamics knowledge. Then this thermodynamic also do not consider, it actually didn't consider the constituents, which is atoms, molecules and its structure followed by reaction mechanism. இதை பற்றியுமே தெர்மோடைனமிக்ஸ் பேசலை. ஓகே, அப்போது ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்குமா நடக்காதான்றதை மட்டும் பற்றி பேசியிருக்கு, எவ்வளோ வேகமாக நடக்கும்ன்றதை பற்றியும் சொல்லலை. அந்த ரியாக்ஷனில் என்ன ஆட்டம் மாலிகுல்ஸ் இன்வால்வ் ஆகியிருக்கு, ஆன் த பேசிஸ் ஆஃப் த ஆட்டம் மாலிகுல்ஸ் வெதர் த ரியாக்ஷன் வில் சேஞ்ச் ஆர் நாட், இட் டிடன்ட் கன்சிடர். On the basis of a reaction mechanism and what pathway does the reaction goes, it didn't consider. இதெல்லாம் தான் இதனோட லிமிட்டேஷன். இதெல்லாம் தான் இதனோட லிமிட்டேஷன். ரைட், அப்போ it has some great merit, it has a certain demerits also here. Now here comes the question, what is the need to study this? thermodynamics ஏன் நான் படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னா, நம்மளோட டெய்லி லைஃப்பில் நம்ம பார்த்துருக்கோம், the food we take is being converted into an energy. Okay, the energy that has been converted is being lost by our body through certain mechanical work. Since I am teaching now for a period of 2 hours, I may lose some energy which I am consumed it through the food. Okay, அப்போ எனர்ஜி ஃபுட்டுலேருந்து எனர்ஜி நான் எடுத்துக்கிறேன், அந்த எனர்ஜியை ஒர்க்காக நான் மாற்றி எனர்ஜியை என்ன பண்ணிடுறேன், லாஸ் பண்ணிடுறேன். சரி, அப்போ இந்த கன்வர்ஷன்ஸ் எதனால் நடக்குது அப்படின்றத பற்றியும் நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறோம். இது மட்டும் இல்லை, we know that flow of an electron causes electricity. Flow of electron produces electricity. And if I heat the coal, I am able to get an heat energy. Okay, ஒரு கோலை நான் ஹீட் பண்ணும்போது heating, this means heating, I am able to get heat energy here. And so இதுதான் முக்கியம். ஓகே, நம்ம ஏன் இதை படிக்கணும் அப்படின்றதுக்கான important thing deals with here. So this is what the overall part of this thermodynamics. When I say introduction part of the thermodynamics, so when I say it's a thermodynamics, it talks about the flow of heat. Thermodynamics is a collective word which has been brought from the two words called thermos and dynamics. Thermos, heat, dynamic, flow. When I say thermodynamic, what is the need to study this thermodynamic? Because it plays a vital role in our body itself The examples of that is being given for us, and we are in the everyday life we come across many things like flow of electron that gives an electricity, the vehicle that we take also can be said as an example. If I heat the coal, heat energy is liberated, all these things deals with it. So, there when discussing all the things that we come across our daily life, we were able to say that there is an interconversion of an energy. So, that interconversion of an energy is being studied in thermodynamics here. And that was thermodynamic knowledge is being given quantitatively, and it also helps us to interpret certain knowledge behind this thermodynamics. Then next thing, it also talks something about the macroscopic particles properties like heat and work. What is the relationship between heat and work? How the interconversion is taking place among itself. The next thing, all this knowledge is being dealt by the three laws of thermodynamics, first, second and third law. First and second law deals with the interconversion of energy, how one form of an energy is converted into other form. The third law of thermodynamics deals with why 0 Kelvin is not attained, 1. Then calculation of an entropy. When I say entropy, it talks about the randomliness or disorderliness, how much the disorder in the system is present. Then among all these greater merits, there is also certain demerits here, which is it was able to explain just the feasibility of a reaction, whether the reaction will take place or not. But it does not explain how the reaction will take place or at what rate, how fast the reaction will occur. So, very simple, kinetics was not explained. Then next thing, while discussing all these things, it does not discuss with the individual structure of the constituents, which is atoms, molecules or ions, whatever it is. And its molecular structure also it did not consider. Then followed by reaction mechanism also it did consider. So, these are all the drawbacks of this thermodynamics. So, with this, with the introduction part, we will get into the main content. Universe. If you are dealing with a reaction, we consider the whole atmosphere around it as system and surrounding. Now, reaction carry out பண்ற லேப்ல அப்போ நானும் சரி அந்த லேபும் சரி என்னை சுற்றி இருக்கக்கூடிய அட்மாஸ்பியரும் சரி சிம்பிளாக என்ன சொல்கிறேன் யூனிவர்ஸ்னு சொல்லிடுவேன். I can able to say it as an universe. Further, an universe contains systems and surrounding. An universe contains system and surrounding. Say for example, you are belong to a school, which is our school, where you are belong to a section. You people are class 11, let me just say it as you are from A section, which mean your classroom is considered as a system because it is surrounded by wall in the four side and you are sitting inside it. The whole, along with you, the four wall which is acting as a boundary is considered as a system. It is not that only A section will be present in our school. There is also other section will be present which act as a neighbor to us. And there is also other standards also, 12th standard, 10th standard, 9th standard and all. It is not that only classrooms will be there. You will be able to find playground and all. So, apart from the classroom, your classroom, apart from your A section, rest of the section along with the playground and the auditorium and rest of the thing which is present in the school campus are considered as the surroundings. And where your school campus and your school playground, your auditorium and your classroom and your friend's classroom, where it is present inside the school campus. So, the school campus is completely considered as an universe. Your classroom is considered as a system. Your friend's classroom and the playground, auditorium, rest of the thing is considered as a surrounding. And what is actually separates the system and the surrounding? Actually, your classroom and your friend's classroom and rest of the thing which is present in the school campus are being separated with the help of a wall. That wall is considered as a boundary. Here, when we are talking that knowledge behind the reaction, chemical reaction, I can able to find the reaction in which it is carrying, the whole thing is considered as a system. Rest of the thing is considered as a surrounding, and everything is considered as a universe in the lab. Okay, here the boundary can be real or imaginary. Or boundary real ஆவும் இருக்கலாம், imaginary ஆவும் இருக்கலாம். Okay, in our school we are able to find wall between the each classes. But if you go to any rural school, very deep rural school, each class will have just tent over our head, but it will not be separated by the walls and all for each and every section. But still, students of A section goes to the A section directly, even though there is not any boundary, because they know that that place is there. But it doesn't have any boundary. They just consider imaginary boundary. அந்த இடத்துல நம்ம என்ன சொல்லலாம், அந்த இடத்துல imaginary boundary சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, அந்த கான்செப்ட் தான் இங்க நம்ம படிக்க போறோம். அப்ப சிஸ்டம் அப்படினா என்னன்னா, இட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ, நமக்கு தெரியும் சிஸ்டம் அப்படினா யூனிவர்ஸ்ல தான் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, அப்ப இட் இஸ் a part of an universe. It is a part of a universe. When you are discussing with your rank, since you belongs to an A section, when you are discussing with your rank, you will be comparing the rank among the other person who sits with you. First நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா, உங்க கூட உட்கார்றவங்க ரேங்கை தான் நீங்க கம்பேர் பண்ணுவீங்க. ஓகே, அப்போ நம்மளோட இங்க சிஸ்டம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லும்போது, it is a part of an universe in which I am performing a reaction. Okay, in which I am performing a reaction. அப்போ எதுல நான் ரியாக்ஷன் பண்றானோ என் ஃபோக்கஸ் எல்லாமே அதுல தான் இருக்கும். அப்போ all the thermodynamic aspects behind that will be focused on that alone, will be restricted to only that. அப்போ it is a part of an universe in which that is considered as a thermodynamic consideration. நம்ம thermodynamic consideration அதுல தான் thermodynamically என்ன சேஞ்ச் ஆகுதுன்றதை நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம், சிஸ்டம்ல மட்டும் தான். ரைட். ஸோ இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த சிஸ்டமையும் சரௌண்டிங்ஸையும் எதை செப்பரேட் பண்ணுதுன்னா பவுண்டரி. நான் ஆல்ரெடி சொல்லியாச்சு, பவுண்டரி தான் செப்பரேட் பண்ணுது. அந்த பவுண்டரி எப்படி இருக்கலாம், ஒரு ரியல் பவுண்டரியா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல ஒரு இமேஜினரி பவுண்டரியா இருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றோம். ரைட். இங்க பாருங்க, நீங்களே பார்த்தாலே உங்களுக்கு தெரியுது, இது ஹோல் திங் என்ன அப்படின்னா யூனிவர்ஸ். இங்க பாக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறது தான் என்ன அப்படின்னா சிஸ்டம். அண்ட் வி ஹாவ் அன் ரியல் பவுண்டரி இட் செல்ஃப், பிகாஸ் அங்கே வால் இருக்கு, ஸோ ரியல் பவுண்டரியே இருக்குங்க. ஓகே, அந்த பவுண்டரியை தவிர்த்து மீதி எல்லாமே என்ன அப்படின்னா சரௌண்டிங். இது மொத்தமே யூனிவர்ஸ். ஓகே, இதுதான் இங்கே சொல்ல வருது. திஸ் இஸ் சிஸ்டம் which is being part of a thermodynamic consideration and rest of the thing is surrounding and everything is an universe. இப்போ இங்க பாருங்க, example balloon filled with air is given. balloon filled with air அப்படினு சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. ரைட். அந்த air அப்படின்றது பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா which is the system. அந்த பலூன்ன்றது அப்படின்றது என்னன்னா ஒரு சிஸ்டம்னு சொல்லலாம். அது உள்ள இருக்கக்கூடிய கேஸஸ் தான், அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய கேஸஸோட மூவ்மெண்ட்டை பத்தி தான் நம்ம படிக்கிறோம். அப்ப அது மட்டும் தான் நம்மளோட தெர்மோடைனமிக்கலா நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணிப்போம். அந்த கேஸஸை விட்டுட்டு, அந்த பலூனை விட்டுட்டு சுத்தி என்ன நடக்குது, away from the balloon, what is happening with the movement of a gases and all will not consider. So that is why it is a system in which the reaction is taking place is only thermodynamically considered. அப்படின்ற பாயிண்ட் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதை சுத்தி என்ன நடக்குதுன்ற நமக்கு தேவையில்லை, அது உள்ள என்ன நடக்குது அதான் நமக்கு தேவை. Right. So this can be said as an example. ஒரு வாட்டர் in a beaker சொல்லலாம். அந்த பீக்கர் மொத்தமா எடுத்துக்கிறோம் அப்படின்னா சிஸ்டம். ஓகே, அதுல வாட்டர் இருக்கு, அதான் நம்ம அந்த வாட்டரோட நேச்சரை பத்தி தான் நம்ம படிக்க போறோம். அந்த பீக்கர்ல இருக்கிறதுனால பீக்கர் இட்ஸ் a real boundary அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, so this is called system. And surroundings அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லும்போது, before that I would say homogeneous system and a heterogeneous system. So homogeneous system அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது, if you are unable to distinguish the physical state in a system, it's called homogeneous. அந்த physical state of a system என்னால distinguish பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்னா அது homogeneous system அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லலாம். உதாரணத்துக்கு beaker, in beaker I am able to find a water alone. water மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. அப்ப வாட்டர் மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது I cannot able to distinguish the physical state of it because it is completely exists as a water itself. இது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, then வேற என்ன சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னா I can able to find okay, நம்ம பால் டீ போடுறோம். டீ போடும்போது we'll be adding certain little amount of milk, we'll be adding milk along with decoction also. Decoction contains water in it. But when we mix together in a teacup, we are able to find an uniform arrangement of all this. அப்ப அந்த இடத்துல என்னால வாட்டர் இங்க தான் இருக்கு, டீ நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ண மில்க் இங்க தான் இருக்கு அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு என்னால சொல்ல முடியாது. அப்ப அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ல physical state of all are same, just as liquid alone. The whole thing is considered as an homogeneous system. Physical state same இருந்துச்சுனா homogeneous. சிம்பிளா முடிச்சுக்கலாம். எக்ஸாம்பிள் என்ன சொல்லலாம், நம்ம லாஸ்ட் செஷன்ல நம்ம gases டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். number of gases mix பண்ணும்போது total pressure will be equal to the sum of partial pressure அப்படின்ற ஒரு கான்செப்ட் நம்ம பார்த்தோம். அந்த இடத்துல உள்ள எல்லாமே இருக்கக்கூடியது கேஸ் அப்படின்றதுனால it is called as mixture of gases, and I am unable to find here it is oxygen, there it is nitrogen, here it is hydrogen அப்படினு சொல்ல முடியாது. ஏன்னா it is everything collectively exists as a gas alone. A mixture of gases can be considered as an homogeneous system. Then the one liquid எடுத்தீங்கன்னா completely miscible liquid-ஆ இருக்கணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயம் ஞாபகத்துல வச்சுக்கங்க. Then next thing எடுத்தீங்கன்னா heterogeneous system. Heterogeneous system அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது, okay, if the physical state of the substituent which is present there is not same, okay, அதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய substituents-ஓட physical state same-ஆ இல்ல அப்படின்ற சிச்சுவேஷன்ல என்னால என்ன பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னா I can say this as an heterogeneous system. Example, mixture of oil and water, இல்ல kerosene in water சொல்லலாம். Kerosene in water எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா you will be able to find the deposition of a water below and kerosene above, as you are able to witness it. Okay, this is a separating funnel. இதுக்கு பேர் என்ன அப்படின்னா, இதுக்கு பேரு separating funnel. இந்த separating funnel தான் லேப்லலாம் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா வாட்டரையும் கெரோசினையும் செப்பரேட் பண்றதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. இந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ல என்ன ஆகும்னா ரெண்டுமே ஒண்ணா ஆட் பண்ணிட்டு they will be shaking very well. ஓகே, நல்லா ஷேக் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஷேக் பண்ணிட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா வாட்டர் வந்து கரெக்ட்டா டெபாசிட் ஆயிருக்கும். வாட்டரை ரிமூவ் பண்ணி எடுத்துறலாம். அப்ப மீதி இருக்குது கெரோசின். அப்ப வாட்டரும் இது எதுக்கு சொல்றேன்னா, வாட்டரும் கெரோசினும் ஒண்ணா இருக்கும்போது we are able to identify the presence of a water in its position and the presence of a kerosene in a separate position. Okay, so this can be said as an example of an heterogeneous system here. Then next thing, surrounding. Okay, surrounding அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது the one which is not a part of a system but it is present in the universe. யூனிவர்ஸ்ல இருக்கு, ஆனா சிஸ்டம்ல ஒரு பார்ட் கிடையாது. அப்ப எல்லாமே சரௌண்டிங் தான். ஓகே, நான் ஆல்ரெடி உங்களுக்கு கிளாஸ் ரூம்ஸ் வச்சு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிருப்பேன். it will be very clear to you. So it is not a part of a system but it will be present in universe. This is one surrounding. Boundary அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது which separate system and surrounding. சிஸ்டமையும் சரௌண்டிங்கையும் செப்பரேட் பண்றது தான் என்னது பவுண்டரி. அந்த பவுண்டரி ரியல் பவுண்டரியா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல இமேஜினரி பவுண்டரியா கூட இருக்கலாம் அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றோம். You are able to find a diagram here. இந்த டயகிராம்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு பீக்கர் இருக்கு. ஓகே, அந்த பீக்கர்ல ஒரு லிக்விட் இருக்கு. ஓகே, which mean the liquid which is present in the beaker is considered as an system here. அத சிஸ்டமா எடுத்துக்கிறோம். அந்த பீக்கர் அப்படின்றது என்னன்னா it's a boundary. Rest of the thing which is present inside this glass vessel is considered as a surrounding. மொத்தமா தான் என்ன சொல்லுவோம் அப்படின்னா universe, which means system plus surrounding is equals to universe. அப்ப நம்ம என்ன எழுதலாம், universe is equals to system plus surrounding அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு எழுதலாம். So that's it with this system, surrounding and the boundary. You need to know all this knowledge because we are going to study the interconversion. அப்ப interconversion அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது heat atmosphere-ல இருந்து நம்ம ரூமுக்கு வரலாம், நம்ம ரூம்ல இருந்து atmosphere-க்கு போகலாம். ஓகே, அப்ப அந்த கன்வர்ஷன் அப்போ எதெல்லாம் சிஸ்டம்ல என்ன ரோல் ப்ளே ஆகுது, சரௌண்டிங்ல என்ன ரோல் ப்ளே ஆகுதுன்றது நமக்கு தெரியணும். ஓகே, and நம்ம ரூம் கம்ப்ளீட்டா க்ளோஸ் ஆயிருக்கும், ஆனாலுமே ஹீட் எனர்ஜி நம்ம ரூமுக்குள்ள வரும் த்ரூ பவுண்டரி, நம்மளோட வால் மூலமா. ஓகே, அப்ப எதெல்லாம் வால்ல டிரான்சிட் ஆகும் அந்த மாதிரி ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ்ல போய் நம்ம டீல் பண்ண போறோம். So it is very important for us to know this system, surrounding and boundary. Right. So next we are going to discuss with the types of the system. See, a system can be classified into types on the basis of the nature of a boundary, which means there are types of a boundary, which mean the real boundary, where there a kind of an exchange will be taking place between the matter and the energy. So depending on that, this has been classified now. We are going to discuss one by one. In that first one, isolated system. When I say it's an isolated system, first thing you have to have that in mind is they are thermally insulated. They are thermally insulated, which mean we can just consider as a flask itself that we use. Commercially, it has been manufactured properly by certain industries like Milton and all. They are capable of producing a very good thermo flask, and which can withstand the heat of about 24 hours, nearly 24 hours. Similarly, where in that flask the boundary is completely sealed and insulated. Insulated, it means no exchange of heat is taking place between the flask and the surrounding which has been kept in it. So this is the thing which deals with the insulated boundary. So considering the knowledge that we have gained regarding this isolated system, I would say this system can neither exchange energy nor matter. It neither exchange energy nor matter with its surroundings. So I would say example as a thermo flask, which means hot water which is present in the thermo flask, in which heat is not being exchanged from the flask to the environment or the ambience of the room, right. So this has been considered as a thermally insulated flask. This thermally insulated flask is actually covering the system in which water is present and it is completely sealed. So both are contained in a particular aspect with respect to the energy and the matter. Both doesn't change anything over here. So that is why it is thermally insulated. Okay. So since it is thermally insulated, we call it as an insulated boundary. So overall thing is, when I say it's an isolated system, it has brought to separately, which means neither exchange of an energy nor matter is taking place. Then next to that is closed system. What is the difference between closed system and the isolated system? If you ask me, in isolated system, water has been kept in a thermo flask. Here, water has been kept in the beaker. When I say it's a beaker, it is not thermally insulated here, right. Here I would say it has a boundary, but it is sealed, but it is not insulated. Here the boundary is sealed, but it is not insulated. Okay, if it is not insulated, there might be possible of exchanging of energy over here. Energy exchange kandipa not with the matter. Okay, if I heat the water and to 100 degrees Celsius, and if I keep the beaker separately in the lab in the ambience temperature of about 25 degrees Celsius, there will be an exchange of heat from the beaker which has a water to the surrounding or the ambience of the lab. But the water is not being removed, only the energy, heat energy has been exchanged. In such a way, I call that system as a closed system. So hot water which has been contained in a beaker is considered, even though it is closed, okay, even though it is closed, it has been contained in a beaker. When it is kept in a lab or any room, we know that the heat energy will be exchanged from the vessel to the surrounding. So this is what the example which is given here. Here the flask is completely sealed, but it is not insulated. Insulate panala. மேலே க்ளோஸ்டு கம்ப்ளீட்டாக சீல் ஆகிருக்கு, அதுலேருந்து வாட்டர் என்னால் எடுக்க முடியாது. ஆனால் நான் ஹீட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்க வாட்டர் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக ஹீட்டை என்ன பண்ணிடும், எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கும். எதுக்கு? சரௌண்டிங்ஸ்க்கு. ஸோ திஸ் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஹியர், க்ளோஸ்டு சிஸ்டம். தென் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் ஓப்பன் சிஸ்டம். When I say open system, it is neither thermally insulated nor it has been closed. அப்படின்னா தெர்மலி இன்சுலேட்டும் பண்ணலை, க்ளோஸும் பண்ணி வைக்கல. அப்போ ஜஸ்ட் வாட்டரை ஹீட் பண்ணிவிட்டு அந்த பீக்கரை தூக்கி அப்படியே நான் வைக்கிறேன். In that case, I can easily add excess of water to the open vessel, or else I can also remove the water which is present in the open beaker. இது ஒன்று. அப்போ மேட்டரும் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ண முடியுது, வாட்டர் உள்ளேருந்து எடுக்க முடியுது, வெளியேருந்து உள்ளே ஊற்ற முடியுது. Then next thing is, when even though it is closed, it is capable of exchanging energy. When it is open, definitely it will exchange energy very easily. Easy என்ன ஆகிடும், எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி வச்சிரும். Right, faster எனர்ஜியும் என்ன பண்ணும், transit பண்ணும் when compared to the when compared to the closed system. This is what. So it is capable of exchanging energy as well as matter here. But I can say hot water kept in an open beaker. So ஒரு beakerல hot water வைக்கிறோம். So ஈஸியாக என்னால் உள்ளே இருக்கிறதோ ரிமூவ் பண்ண முடியும், வெளியே இருந்தால் அடிஷ்னலாக ஆட் பண்ண முடியும். Since it is open, it is capable of exchanging energy very quickly when compared to the closed system. Closed system compare பண்ணுவோம், open system ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக எனர்ஜி என்ன பண்ணும், எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும். So these are all the three types of a system. It means a system can be classified into three on the basis of the nature of a boundary. On the basis of a nature of a boundary, it can be classified into isolated, open and closed. When I say isolated, neither exchange of energy nor matter. When I say it is closed, you can't exchange the matter, but energy can be exchanged through the boundary. Then when I say it's a open, exchange of energy and matter is taking place across a boundary. So this is what regarding this types of this system. Then properties of a system. Properties of a thermodynamic system can be classified in the basis of two. One, extensive property. Two, intensive property. Here, extensive property of a substance, if a substance is said to exhibit extensive property, or if a system is capable of exhibiting this extensive property, it means that system will be depends on mass or size. If a system is capable of exhibiting this extensive property, which means that system is entirely depends on, which means the property of the system entirely depends on the mass and size. Okay, what kind of parameters that it could be? It can be volume, it can be number of moles, it can be mass, internal energy, entropy, enthalpy, and gives free energy followed by heat capacity. ரைட், பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வால்யூம் இருக்கும், உங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே தெரியும். வால்யூம் அப்படின்னும் போது மாஸ் அண்ட் சைஸை பொறுத்து தான் இருக்குது. நம்பர் ஆஃப் மோல்ஸ், இட் ஆல்சோ டீல்ஸ் வித் த மாஸ். வென் ஐ சே மாஸ், இட் ஆல்சோ ஹேஸ் அ மாஸ். தென் இன்டர்னல் எனர்ஜி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லும்போது, we are going to study internal energy in depth. There I will discuss there. Then followed by enthalpy. Enthalpy is nothing but heat change. Then entropy, we have seen in the morning, disorderliness of a molecule in a substances. Free energy. With the help of a free energy, we are going to say in the upcoming classes whether the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. வேகமா நடக்குமா நடக்காதா அப்படின்னு சொல்லக்கூடியது எதுனா இந்த கிப்ஸ் ஃப்ரீ எனர்ஜி வச்சு தான் நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். Followed by heat capacity. Right. We are going to study each and everything in depth in the upcoming session. Just have a thing that in your mind, when it is an extensive property of a thermodynamic system, the property of the system depends on mass and size. Mass or size, any other thing. Any of these two. When it's an internal property, it is independent of mass and size. It is a property of a system which is independent of mass and size. Okay, what it might be? It is all the physical properties that I would say, like refractive index, surface tension, density, then followed by temperature, boiling point, freezing point, molar volume, molar mass, molarity, mole fraction, etc. See, for an easy understanding, let me just take a temperature over here. Boiling point of a water is at 100 degrees Celsius, irrespective of the fact that it is 1 liter or 2 liter. 1 liter இருந்தாலும் அந்த வாட்டரோட பாயிலிங் பாயிண்ட் 100 டிகிரி செல்சியஸ் தான். 2 liters இருந்தாலும் அந்த வாட்டரோட பாயிலிங் பாயிண்ட் தான் 100 டிகிரி செல்சியஸ் தான். அப்போ அந்த மாஸ் அண்ட் சைஸை பொறுத்து இல்லை அப்படின்னு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கான ஒரு பேராமீட்டர் இதுதான். ஓகே, எவ்ரிதிங் கேன் பி ஸ்டேட்டட் இன் சச் a way. பாயிலிங் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வாட்டர் சொல்லலாம், ஃப்ரீசிங் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வாட்டர் சொல்லலாம், டென்சிட்டி சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, in such a way I can say many of the things over here. Right. See, molar volume of a water is same or molar volume of a substance is same, because 1 mole of water will occupy 22.4 liters. We all know that. Then rest of the parameters, it is very most of the things it is known to us, mole fraction is known to us, then molar mass is known to us, molality, molarity and the normality, these are all the things that we are going to discuss in the upcoming session. Just have a thing that in your mind. When I say this system is said to have an intensive property, it is independent of mass or size. Then next thing is thermodynamic processes. What is this okay, in the beginning we have seen what is thermodynamics. It deals with the interconversion of an energy and it also provides certain evidence quantitatively and it helps us to predict certain knowledge behind this various reaction that is results in the interconversion of an energy. These are all the things that we have seen in the introduction part itself. Now here a new term comes called thermodynamic processes. What is that process? If a process result in change in state of a system, have that in mind. If a process or any operation that would say, if a process that results in change in state of a system, or system oda state change aachi ஒரு process மூலமா அப்படினா அந்த process thermodynamic process தான். அப்போ ஒரு ஸ்டேட் ஒரு சிஸ்டம் ஓட ஸ்டேட் எப்ப சேஞ்ச் ஆகும்? ஹீட் பண்ணா, if I heat, if I cool, if I expand and compress, then further if I vaporize it, evaporate பண்ணும்போது ஆகும், then fuse பண்ணும்போது ஆகும். இந்த எல்லாமே all this process which will result in the change of a state. அப்போ when a process result in the change of a state, that is called as thermodynamic processes. Right. These thermodynamic processes can be reversible and irreversible also. Here comes a question. When does a thermodynamic process is said to be reversible? When does a thermodynamic process is said to be irreversible? A thermodynamic process is said to be reversible when the reaction it is taking place is infinitesimally slow, very slow. ஒரு reaction ரொம்ப ஸ்லோவா நடக்குதுனா அந்த reaction thermodynamically நடக்குதுனா that reaction comes under the thermodynamic processes. Right, because why there is a condition that if the reaction is taking place only at an infinitesimally slow, which is considered as a reversible process thermodynamically. Why? Because when the reaction is taking place very slow, system will be in equilibrium with the surrounding. System will be in equilibrium with the surrounding. What is that equilibrium? If I have a reactant and the product, if the reaction is taking place, initially reactant will be 100%, product will be 0%. There comes a point where both the reactant and the product will be equals to 50%. Initially reactant will be 100%, product will be 0%. As the reaction proceeds, both the reactants and the products will be equal to 50%. That stage where the number of reactants and number of products are same is considered as the reaction is said to be in equilibrium. When that happened, that I am able to identify when they are 50%, only they are taking place very slow. If the reaction is taking place very fast, as sooner the reaction starts, reactant diffuses, product forms. I cannot be able to find a position where both are 50%. That is why the reaction should take place infinitesimally slow in order to achieve an equilibrium between system and surrounding. Right. What is the most specific nature of this process? If you ask me, I will say both system and surrounding can be brought to initial state from the final state. System or surrounding initial final state la initial state enala enna panna mudiyum kondu vara mudiyum all throughout the process. So this is what, if you ask me what is the condition for the reaction in order to said to be thermodynamically reversible process, first 2 points. The reaction should be infinitesimally slow and both the system and surroundings should be in equilibrium with each other. Only then that process, that reversible process is said to be a thermodynamic processes. Right. So during this process, what is taking place? During the conversion from system to surrounding and the surrounding system, you will not be able to find any change in thermodynamic properties in the universe. Which means we have to think here wisely. They mention it as an universe. Universe has a system and surrounding. Okay. அப்போ சிஸ்டம் அண்ட் சரௌண்டிங்கில் பார்த்தோம்னா எந்த விதமான எந்த தெர்மோடைனமிக் பேராமீட்டர்ஸான சேஞ்ச் எந்த சேஞ்சுமே இருக்காது, தெர்மோடைனமிக் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸில் எந்த சேஞ்சுமே இருக்காது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்கிறோம். விச் மீன் இன்டென்சிவ் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்டென்சிவ் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிஸ் இது வரக்கூடிய எல்லாமே தான். Okay, so during the conversion of system to surrounding and from surrounding to system. Why I am saying from surrounding to system? Because it's a reversible process. Right. Then coming to the next thing is irreversible process. When I say reversible process, the reaction should go infinitesimally slow, but here that condition is not needed. If that condition is not needed, if the reaction is taking place without any externally control, I would say it's a natural occurring process, because that is taking place as usual. We are not controlling externally anything. So if a reaction is said to be occurring naturally, we call it as an irreversible process, because whatever has happened, I cannot bring back that thing, the thing which is happening naturally. In which I can, in the reversible process, as I told, system and surrounding can be brought back to the initial state from the final state. I can't do this here, which means I can never restore the system and surroundings here, which means from final state to initial state. Then it is not required for the system and surrounding to make their presence in their equilibrium. Equilibrium அந்த இடத்துல எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற நீட் அங்க இல்ல. It's exactly quite opposite the thing what we have seen in the reversible process. இங்க equilibrium தேவையில்லை, அங்க equilibrium வேணும். There the reaction has to occur infinitesimally slow, here it is not needed. System and the surrounding can be restored to initial state from the final state there, here it cannot be restored. That's it. So if all these conditions prevail, I call that process is said to be thermodynamically irreversible. Then adiabatic process. When I say adiabatic process, this process can happen only when the system is thermally insulated. ஒரு system thermally insulated இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா அந்த process நம்ம என்ன சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னா adiabatic process ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லலாம். In this process, you will not be able to find any sort of exchange of heat from the system to surrounding and surrounding to system. System to surrounding or surrounding to system எந்த விதமான heat exchange மே இருக்காது. Suppose if a system does some work, okay, initially each system has a temperature. Initially ஒவ்வொரு சிஸ்டம்க்கு ஒரு temperature. Suppose ஒரு சிஸ்டம் ஒர்க் பண்ணுது அப்படின்னா அந்த இடத்துல டெம்பரேச்சர் டிக்ரீஸ் ஆகும் when the process is said to be adiabatic. When the process is said to be adiabatic. திரும்பவும் சொல்றேன், if the work is done by a system, ஒரு சிஸ்டம் அது ஒரு ஒர்க் பண்ணுச்சு அப்படின்னா அந்த இடத்துல டெம்பரேச்சர் கண்டிப்பா என்ன ஆகும்னா டிக்ரீஸ் ஆகும். If a work is done on the system, அந்த சிஸ்டம் மேல ஒர்க் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா அந்த இடத்துல டெம்பரேச்சர் என்ன ஆகும், increase agum. Right, here as I have told, it is in thermally insulated, no heat has been exchanged, so I would say system cannot exchange any sort of heat from its surrounding, and surrounding also cannot exchange any sort of a heat to the system. So therefore Q is equals to 0. Q is heat. The symbol of heat we represent in terms of Q. So Q will be equals to 0 here. Right. When I say adiabatic process, have that in mind. This process is said to be thermodynamic only when it has been carried out in a thermally insulated system. During the process of conversion from system to surrounding and the surrounding system, no exchange of heat is taking place here. If a system does its work, temperature will reduce. If this work is done on the system, temperature increases. Somehow system cannot exchange its energy from to its surroundings. Therefore Q will be equals to 0 there. So this is adiabatic process. Then isothermal process. Name itself has its meaning. Thermal, something with the temperature. Something with the temperature. When a reaction is carried out in the system, there will be, during the course of formation of a final state from the initial state, temperature will be made as a constant. If the temperature has to be maintained as a constant, there an equipment called thermostat should be placed, because this thermostat is an instrument which maintains the temperature that was set initially before the reaction. Okay, isothermal அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றோம். இனிஷியல்ல இருந்து ஃபைனல் ஒரு சிஸ்டம் இனிஷியல்ல இருந்து ஃபைனல் ஸ்டேட் போகும்போது இல்ல ஃபைனல் ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு போகும்போது டெம்பரேச்சர் கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா மெயின்டைன் பண்ணனும். But that doesn't mean that there will not be any sort of exchange of heat from the system to surrounding and the surrounding to system. ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல இருந்து சரவுண்டிங்கோ இல்ல சரவுண்டிங்ல இருந்து சிஸ்டம்க்கும் எந்தவித ஹீட் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணல அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்ல முடியாது. எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணும். எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணாலுமே டெம்பரேச்சரை கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா மெயின்டைன் பண்ணக்கூடிய வேலை யாருதுன்னா இந்த தெர்மோஸ்டாட்டோடது. Okay, thermostat here plays an important role in maintaining the temperature of the system over there. Here heat can be exchanged from system to surrounding and the surrounding system. Have that in mind. Whereas this can't be found in adiabatic process. Adiabatic process la neither exchange of heat will taking place between system to surrounding and surrounding to system there. Right. So this is isothermal. Here the change in temperature will be equals to 0. Even though there is an exchange of energy, dt will be equals to 0. This has been done by thermostat. Right. This is with respect to the isothermal process. Coming to the isobaric process. When I say it's an isobaric, pressure of the system remains constant. Isobaric அப்படினு சொன்னா ஒரு சிஸ்டமோட pressure கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றோம். During the process when it reaches the final state from the initial state, ஒரு initial stateல இருந்து final state போகும்போது pressure constantா maintain வருது. அப்போ during that process the change in pressure will be equals to 0. Change in pressure will be equals to 0. So that is why here the pressure of the system is maintained constant and it is named as isobaric process. Then next thing is isochoric. When I say isobaric, isothermal, temperature is maintained constant. When I say isobaric, it is pressure. When I say isochoric, it talks about the volume. It talks about volume. So you will not be able to find a difference in the volume of the system from its initial state to final state. Which means if in a system, if a reaction is carried out to progress from initials to the final state, you will not be able to find a change in volume over there. Which means I would say volume of the system remains constant. So the change in volume will be equals to 0. So example for this is given as combustion of a fuel in a bomb calorimeter. See, bomb calorimeter is made up of a very big, very strong steel cage. Okay, we have this bomb calorimeter in our portion, we will be discussing there. See, there will be the bomb, which is an experimental setup, is being placed in a steel cage which is completely sealed and tied with the screws. Their exchange of volume cannot be occur. So that process is considered as an isochoric process. Next one is cyclic process. When I say cyclic process, a system which is starting from its initial state and reaches a final state, and from the final state it can reach us to the initial state through a series of steps. Through a series of steps. This system, this process is considered as a cyclic process. I am coming again once more. When a process is said to be cyclic, when a system reaches to the final state through various process, and from the final state it goes to the initial state. Okay, through various process. During this process, you will not be able to find a change in temperature, change in pressure, change in enthalpy, change in internal energy, change in entropy, change in volume. Right. When I say dt, it's a change in temperature. When I say U, it is internal energy. When I say H, it is enthalpy. When I say U, it's an internal energy, H is enthalpy, P is pressure, V is volume, E over here is, he here can be just talks about enthalpy also, then the overall energy that I would say, or electronic energy I would say. dE can be said as an electronic energy also. Right. So overall the process, it is taking place cyclically. During this process, you will not be able to find a change with any of these parameters that was stated. So, if this condition prevail, this cyclic process comes and said to be thermodynamic process. Then, okay, next we are getting into thermodynamic property of a system. Before that, in a thermodynamic processes, we have looked into reversible, irreversible, adiabatic, isobaric, isothermal, isochoric, then cyclic processes. All these processes comes under thermodynamic processes. Now we are going to look into thermodynamic properties of a system. When I say thermodynamic properties, it talks about whether the reaction or the thermodynamic process or the thermodynamic system is if it is defined by its state or path, whether a physical state of a system is determined the property of it or through which path it is taking place, those things are going to be dealt here. For thermodynamic process அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது அதுல first one என்ன சொல்லலாம்னா state function சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லலாம். When I say state function, it is a process where it deals with pressure, volume, temperature and number of moles. Generally, all thermodynamic process it deals with all these four parameters: pressure, volume, temperature and number of moles. And there will be a specific value for a state here. There will be a specific value for a state here, which means during this process, this property will be concerned with the value of a state alone, not with the path. In the process la or reaction nadakudhu அப்படினா ஒரு initial state la இருந்து final state போகும்போது this process is thermodynamically concerned with the state. அதனோட physical state பொறுத்து மட்டும் தான் சொல்லுது. எந்த வழியா போகுது, எத்தனை pathwaysல போகுது அப்படின்றது இது கன்சிடரே பண்றது இல்ல. When I say it's a state function, so that's why it is given as it has a specific value for a given state. அதுதான் concerned about a value of a particular state, does not depend on the path. எந்த வழியா போகுதுன்றது அதுக்கு தேவையே கிடையாது. So pressure, volume, temperature, internal energy, enthalpy, G for Gibbs free energy. இது state function. Path function அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லும்போது quite opposite to that. இந்த இடத்துல it concerned only the pathway in which the reaction is taking place. Pathway பொறுத்து மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. உதாரணத்துக்கு work and heat. இப்போ I have a vessel, okay, here water has been kept in terms of 100 degrees Celsius, temperature is ambience temperature 25 degrees Celsius. அப்போ இந்த சைடுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா since the temperature of the environment is very low, there will be an exchange of heat from the beaker. அப்போ இந்த இடத்துல எவ்வளோ ஹீட் எனர்ஜி எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் ஆகுன்றது மைண்ட்ல கிடையாது. எங்க இருந்து எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் ஆகுதுன்னா சிஸ்டம்ல இருந்து சரௌண்டிங்க்கு போகுது. அப்போ பாத் வேவை மட்டும் சொல்லுது. ஓகே, பாத் வேவை மட்டும் சொல்லுது அப்படின்றது தான் இந்த இடத்துல ஹீட் அப்படின்றது. ஒர்க் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லும்போது ஐ நோ மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த பீப்புள் வுட் ஹவ் யூஸ் சைக்கிள் பம்ப். When I say cycle pump, if I give pressure on the system, I would say I am giving pressure on the pump. That is why the piston is going inwards. அப்போ அந்த இடத்துல டைரக்ஷன் அந்த இடத்துல சொல்லுது, பாத்வேவை சொல்லுது. Okay, when I leave my hand, piston comes up. So there the system does the work. அப்போ சிஸ்டம்ல இருந்து the pointed arrow mark will be towards me from the system. So அந்த மாதிரி தான் pathways பத்தி சொல்றது in the path function. Right, when I say work, right, we are able to find the different values of work even though if it is carried out reversibly or irreversibly. Okay, ஒரு work ஓட வேல்யூ என்ன அப்படின்னா அது irreversible process ஆ இருக்கணும், reversible process ஆ இருக்கட்டும், ஒவ்வொன்றுத்துக்குமே work ஓட contribution different ஆ இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றது தான் இந்த பாயிண்ட். Then internal energy. Right, when I say internal energy here, I would say it is the collective energy of all molecule in a system. or I will say it's a collective or the total energy of a molecule in a system. ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய மாலிகுலோட total energy தான் நான் என்ன சொல்றேன், internal energy அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றேன். How it is calculated? By summing up all the energy. Okay, internal energy, how it is calculated? By summing up all the energy. This internal energy will be possessed by the molecule which is present in the system itself. இந்த internal energy அந்த சிஸ்டம்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய மாலிகுலுக்கே டிஃபால்ட்டா அங்க என்ன இருக்கும். இது எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்றோம்? ஆல்ரெடி நான் சொல்லிட்டேன், எல்லா எனர்ஜியும் கால்குலேட் பண்ற மாதிரி. When I say UT, it's a translational energy. When I say UV, it's a vibrational energy. When I say UR, it's a rotational energy. When I say UB, it's a bond energy. Then UE, electronic energy. UI, due to the molecular interaction. Okay, இது எல்லா எனர்ஜியுமே டிஃபால்ட்டா அந்த மாலிகுல்ல கண்டிப்பா இருக்கும். Okay, and the energy oda summing up தான் இந்த internal energy. Right, what is the important aspect of this internal energy அப்படினா, the first thing is, with the help of an internal energy I can able to distinguish its physical structure. ஒரு atom different allotropes exist ஆயிருக்கும். Say for example carbon ஓட allotropes எடுத்தீங்கன்னா it can be exist as a diamond, graphite, carbene, graphene, nanotubes. இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய சொல்லிட்டு போலாம். அதுல diamond or graphene எடுத்தீங்கன்னா they are different because in diamond carbon atom are tetrahedrally held, which mean அந்த carbon எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா each carbon will connected to 4 other carbon in this way. Where? In diamond. Graphite ல எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா each carbon will be connected to 2 other carbon hexagonally. Everything is made of carbon தான், atoms என்னமோ சேம் தான், ஆனா அதனோட physical structure என்ன ஆகுது, மாறுது. அந்த physical structure அப்படின்றது எதை பொறுத்து இருக்குன்னா அந்த atom acquire பண்ணிருக்க internal energy பொறுத்து தான் இருக்கு. அப்போ internal energy actually distinguish the physical structure of an atom or the compound in which a common atom is present here. Right, இங்க tetrahedrally held ன்னு சொல்றோம், இங்க hexagonally held ன்னு சொல்றோம். Hexagonally held in graphite. So both this graphite and diamond differ in each other. It is due to differ in internal energy. That's the reason. Then characteristics of internal energy. When I say it's an internal energy, it's an extensive property. When it's an extensive property, it deals with the mass and size. As we have this extensive property just now, so it is not necessary to discuss it further. Then, since it's an extensive property, if the amount is doubled, internal energy is also doubled, because it depends on the mass and size as we have mentioned in the extensive property itself. அப்போ ஒரு amount of a substance double பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா internal energy என்ன ஆகுது, double ஆகுது. Okay, extensive property அதுக்கான justification சொல்லியாச்சு. இப்போ state function சொல்றோம். When I say it's a state function, it is concerned only with the value of the state but not the path. அப்போ it deals with state variables like pressure, volume, temperature and number of moles. And this change in internal energy can be calculated during a process by subtracting the internal energy of the system in the final state and the internal energy of the system in the initial state. UF minus UI. Internal energy with respect to the final state, internal energy with respect to the initial state. So எந்த அளவுக்கு change in internal energy அப்படினு சொல்லனா, it can be done using UF minus UI. Then for a cyclic process, as we have discussed, change in all the parameters will be equal to 0. So del U will be also equal to be 0, because internal energy is the collective energy, total energy அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது, அப்ப total energyல இண்டிவிஜுவலா பார்க்கும்போது ஒவ்வொரு எனர்ஜியுமே 0 ன்னும்போது total energy கண்டிப்பா என்ன தான் இருக்கும், 0 தான் இருக்கும். So change in internal energy will be equals to 0. Okay, whether it will be always 0, here comes the next question. No, it can be positive, it can be negative. When it can be positive, suppose in the final value, okay, negative எப்ப இருக்கும்னு பார்க்கலாம். இந்த final value initial value ஓட சின்னதா இருந்ததுனா, if I subtract is 2 minus 5, okay, final value சின்னதா இருந்துச்சுனா கண்டிப்பா -3 இங்க வரும். அப்போ internal change in internal energy என்ன இருக்கும், நெகட்டிவா இருக்கும். Suppose if the internal energy of the final state is greater than the initial state, definitely அந்த எத்தனை internal energy பாசிட்டிவா இருக்கும். So, these are all the characteristics of this internal energy. So, internal energy is a collective energy where it has been calculated by summing up all the energy like an translation energy, rotational energy, vibration energy, bond energy, energy due to the molecular interaction, right. So, it is considered as an extensive property where it deals with the mass or size of the system. When I double the amount of a substance, I will be able to find doubling the internal energy. Then I would say it is a state function. Definitely depends on the value of the state variables like pressure, temperature, volume and the number of moles, it does not depend on the path. The change in internal energy can be calculated by subtracting the internal energy of the final state with the internal energy of the initial state. For a cyclic process, change in internal energy will always equals to 0 here. This internal energy, change in internal energy will be negative, the change in internal energy can be positive. When it will be negative, this will be negative when the internal energy of the initial state is greater than the final state. When it will be positive when the internal energy of the final state is greater than the initial state. So, that is it with this. So, in this session we have begun with the thermodynamics, proceeding with this introduction, and we have looked into system and surroundings, followed by types of a system we have looked into, then thermodynamic processes, then properties of a thermodynamic processes, these then followed by internal energy and the characteristics of internal energy, importance of internal energy. These are all the things we have discussed in today's session. So, in the next session we will be discussing with heat and work. If you are very comfortable with the class, kindly like our channel, subscribe and give a thumbs up and intimate to your friends. Thank you.